What's going on, guys, and welcome to this case study video. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how I was able to master macros for myself and how I do it for my clients as well. So at the end of this video, I'm going to show you guys how I did that for one of my clients to where he lost over 20 pounds in 3 months by following the same exact formula that I'm about to show you guys right now. Alright, so as you guys can see, I started off fat, quote unquote fat. I was above 50% body fat, like 17-18% body fat. My abs were slightly visible, but wasn't showing at all that much. You know, I was partying, drinking, smoking, dealing with different people, the wrong friend circle, a lot of casual dating, and just not being focused. Waking up late, playing video games, just not being focused around this time in my life, the before, as far as the before picture. You know, I was trying to get on track. I was trying to figure out myself. I was trying to get back to the grind. You know, and it wasn't until I learned these few things about optimizing my health and fitness and being consistent and disciplined with that. It wasn't until then I started to change. You know, I started to really see the fruits of my labor and the results, and that's where you get the after picture from. All right, so let's kind of go through this slowly here. So this is going to be more of an educational video for sure. Kind of breaking down, show you guys what macro means, how it plays a part in your life, how much you need for your body weight, things like that. So the caloric intake, as you guys know, man, is calories consumed through food and drinking throughout the day. All right, and calories come from macronutrients, which is protein and carbs. And protein and carbs equals 4 calories per gram. All right, and fats equals 9 calories per gram. Okay, so I like to put protein and carbs in the same playing field, but you should always aim to have more protein than carbs per day if you're looking to, get leaner while getting stronger. If you're just looking for a straight size and putting on muscle and strength, then having more carbs will help you, but you won't be as aesthetic, if that makes sense. All right, you won't be as aesthetic, or it might take you a little bit longer to become aesthetic. It's still possible, but it might take you a little bit longer. Okay. And fats are also a non-negotiable. It's really healthy to have healthy fats in your diet, but fats have more calories per gram. So you want to be very, very careful with fats. Okay? So this document also will be linked down below, so you guys can download this document if you guys don't have this yet. You can download this document and kind of go through it in your own time. So I go through a lot of key terms in this video. What macros mean: protein, carbs, fat. Glycemic index, what that means, metabolism, what that means. And I also give you guys a quick guide of like type of foods you guys want to have and what's in these type of foods. All right, so I got what's in fats and protein. What foods have protein only? What foods have protein and carbs? What foods are good for carbs only? So I kind of go through that list for you guys as well in this document. So you guys can read that, understand that. Then I have to dive in deeper on protein. Why each one are important as far as protein, carbs, and fat, why they're important, what they do, and kind of break that down as well, But one of the biggest things we're going to talk about today is the case study, okay? We're going to talk about my client, his case study, and how he was able to go from, let's say, 30% body fat to around 15-16% body fat in about, give or so, it was like 3 months, 12 weeks or so. So I'm going to pretty much break that down. So yeah, man. So he came to me pretty much looking for overall fitness improvement, and the change of the body type. He also was dealing with a back injury as well, a back injury for his spine. All right. So he told me he was out of shape. His clothes were becoming too tight. He was in the XL, double XL range. So he was a little bit bigger, when he came to me, and he wasn't really working out as much. He had this cycle where I see a lot of guys have this cycle where it's kind of like you work out for a month and you're off. You work out for 2 months, then you're off. It's like it's sporadic. It's here or there. It wasn't consistent. He wasn't able to stick to a consistent routine. Okay, so that's one of the biggest factors that he struggled with. Okay, especially working a high stress, demanding high stress job that involved long work hours, and he traveled a good amount. So guess what? His diet was inconsistent too. So a lot of gas station food, a lot of McDonald's, KFC, fast, quick foods, energy drinks, like things like that. relying on foods like that, more processed foods and more saturated fat, which as you can see from this picture, the before picture, a lot of that food went straight to his gut, and he held a lot of weight in his gut, like most of us do, you know. So his primary goals was to lose belly fat. He wanted to lose that belly fat, kick that belly fat off of him, build muscle, and increase energy levels. Because he had a significant other that he just met. He wanted to really, be there for her, travel with her, and be engaging with her as well to get her in the gym too. So he wasn't just doing it for himself. Obviously, it's number one, but he did it for a person that was in his life that he cared about. So that was step two. Doing it for yourself and doing it for somebody you care about. So that's one thing. That's one thing he really wanted to improve on and focus on. Okay. And when he came to me, he was ready to commit to a structured plan, but he just needed some guidance on how to balance a busy lifestyle with his goals. All right. So to break down his macros before and after. So before, this is estimated macros. So we calculated this together, and he was eating around 2,500 to 800. 2,500 to 2,800 calories per day. And most of his diet came from high carbs. Things like processed foods, going to the 7-Eleven and getting those Totito things, chips, a lot of things like that. The sodas and the quick food, fast food. It's high in carbs, super high in carbs. His carbs were high. He was getting around 50% of a daily intake in carbs, over 300 grams of carbs per day. Over that. And his protein was low. He had very low protein. Protein was at 20% per day for daily intake, and he was only eating around 125, 140 grams of protein a day, which is super, super low for his body weight. He was like 220 around that time, so it was very, very low protein intake for his body weight. So that wasn't going to work, and his fats was pretty moderate high for his intake. We want to see fats a little bit lower than this for a guy like this. So when he came to me, I knew exactly what to do exactly to fix this. All right, so this is before. And after working with me, this is what we did after. So after the consultation and after the assessment of activity levels, preferences, and goals, we established a calorie intake of 2,200 calories per day. Okay, 2,200 per day. So remember, first, he was at 2,500, 2,800 a day. Now, he's at 2,200. So it's like a 300 to 500 calorie decrease to where he was at. So right out the gate, boom, calorie deficit. Calorie deficit for fat loss, and we're going to prioritize protein while adjusting the carbohydrates and fat ratios. So as you see, his carbs, we dropped his carbs. First, it was at 300. Now it's at 193. So we went from 50% of his daily intake for calories, for carbs, down to 35%. So we cut that down. All right. Protein, we doubled his protein intake. All right. So if protein was at 20%, we put it to 40%. So it was at 125 grams per day to 220 per day, which what it should have been for his body weight. All right. So that's key. We doubled his protein, and we slightly lowered his fat just a bit, just to get those. Make sure you hit the calorie marker. So we lower lower fat for 30% per day calorie intake to 25%. So just like that. And these were the results. So after 12 weeks of consistently taking action of his macros, this is what he did. No, this is what his structured plan was. It was 4 days of strength training and 2 days of moderate cardio. That was it. He wasn't on this crazy magical plan. It was just 4 days strength training, 2 days cardio, easily. All right, and he lost approximately 12 pounds of fat and gained 5 pounds of lean muscle mass during this stretch. So 12 pounds of fat, he gained 5 pounds of lean muscle during this stretch. All right, and these results were noticeable in his physique, as you guys can see above. His physique changed a lot, dramatically, and that was due to him losing 12 pounds of fat and putting on 5 pounds of muscle. So he increased his muscle definition while reducing his body fat percentage. All right. He also reported that his energy levels were increased throughout the day, even with the work schedule. He felt more light on his feet. He felt more energized. He didn't just go home and crash. He really felt amazing after this change. Everything was just going great. All right. Secondly, his energy levels, he's seen energy gains in the gym. So in the gym through progressive overload, he kept making progress. He kept getting stronger. He kept, lifting heavier with more reps, getting stronger and stronger at each session. So it's very, very good. Next, his sleep quality improved. So him being on a healthier diet, being more focused, being more locked in, he was able to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night, even with a busy schedule. You know, why? Because we have him going to bed a little bit earlier. We had him going to bed a little bit earlier and waking up, on normal time. So that's very, very key. Sleep quality. All right. And for stress management, he found that exercise and his better eating habits really helped him manage stress more effectively. So no longer the days of getting Coca-Cola, getting a Red Bull and calling it a day. He really had structure throughout the day to where he wasn't stressed. He didn't have to eat that BS food or figure out what's for lunch, what's for dinner, what's for breakfast. He didn't have to figure that out because everything was laid out and planned for him, so he knew exactly what to eat and what he shouldn't eat. So he made a conscious decision to change. All right, but he did have some challenges and adjustments we had to make. So first was time constraints. Obviously, he was a very busy guy. He's working a lot of hours a day. So it was challenging to find meal prepping and workouts to find that time. So we had to pretty much focus on quick and easy meal prep recipes, so we can do quick and easy, utilizing time-saving cooking methods, and scheduling workouts in his calendar, like any other important task. So it's like having a doctor's appointment. Yes, you're gonna plan it out, you're gonna schedule it out months in advance. So why not schedule your workouts out weeks in advance? Why not schedule out what you're gonna do every single day in the gym? It's just like any other appointment. You want to save that time as well. So we did that to kind of free up some time and really compact everything to make it make sense for him. All right. Secondly, travel. He traveled a lot, so it pretty much made it hard to be consistent with his diet because he wasn't home eating, he wasn't home cooking. He was always on the go. That's one thing we focused on is, okay, how can we get quick, good meals in? If we do go out to eat, what could we do? What foods can we eat if we do go out to restaurants? Let's say Chipotle, Kava, protein shakes at Smoothie King, Tropical Smoothie, things like that just to hold them over. That's good. It's good stuff. It's not the top best stuff. It's good stuff that's going to hold you over and get you results. Because these different restaurants do sell good foods as well. So we took advantage of that. Protein bars and snacks and high protein and low carb snacks. So very, very good stuff we did, as well as utilizing hotel gyms, utilizing restaurant meals, menus in advance, just seeing what's on the menu, what can we get ahead of time. So planning with that. All right. Next was navigating social events and business dinners while tracking macros was a challenge. He went out with his girlfriend a lot. He went out with business partners a lot. And it's like, okay, what restaurant are you guys going to? Okay, if you guys are going to this restaurant, I will get A, B, or C. I will choose one of these 3 options and stick with that. And you can plan ahead to know exactly what you're eating. Because one of the biggest things with dinner events, you guys are drinking, everybody's having appetizers, you got the dessert for cake. So it's like you kind of got to be methodical in what you do. You don't want to look like, you're not enjoying yourself. You want to still enjoy yourself, but within reason. That's one thing we had to plan for him as well. All right, so definitely prioritizing lean proteins and vegetables a lot. Okay. Second was workout fatigue. So my guy Easton, he did experience workout fatigue in the beginning. He did experience fatigue, and one thing we adjusted was his training schedule. So we allowed him for adequate rest and recovery. So if he needed a day off to get back on track, we took that day off to get back on track the next day. If he needed a weekend to just reset, relax, we rest, we gave him that weekend to relax, reset, and re-rest. So most coaches will tell you guys got to be in the gym 4 to 5 days a week, every single week, no matter what. It's like, no. Life is going to happen. You're going to be busy. You're going to travel. Things are going to happen. So you want to have that coach that's going to be able to understand your point of view, understand your lifestyle, and make changes so you still can make progress within those changes. Everybody don't have time to work out in the gym 4 to 5 days a week every single week. It's going to be times, hey, you might be doing some push-ups today, or you might be going on a walk today. No gym, but you're going on a walk. Like things like that can really change the game for a lot of people who don't really have that um, have that experience in gym and fitness, you know. And last but not least, as Easton progressed, we definitely adjusted his calorie intake to ensure his progress and prevent plateaus. So 2200, he started there, but he didn't end there for the whole 12 weeks. We did have to manipulate the calories a little bit, manipulate protein, carbs, and fat just a little bit, just to see him still making progress. Because you can plateau. Like, you can't eat the same calorie intake for the whole year. Like, something's going to change. You know, either you're going to get burnt out, get tired, you're going to get weaker in the gym, your body's going to become immune to it. So you have to adjust it just a little bit just to keep your body on edge to keep making those changes. All right? So some of the things he used to track was MyFitnessPal. He used MyFitnessPal to track his food. I go over that in the document, as well as understanding daily calorie needs and pretty much understanding, you know, the 3 signs you need to adjust your macros so you won't, you know, hit a plateau. So I give that away as well. So you guys can kind of go through that document and look at that, the 3 things you guys need. And pretty much, man, I put a book down, a conclusion and takeaways you guys can learn from Easton's journey. Because a lot of you guys probably in the same position where you guys are working a lot. You guys don't have time to work out or train a lot or eat gourmet meals every day. So it's like I want to give you guys what I did for my client Easton, which you guys can do too. Okay, so you guys can definitely take a look at that, dive in here, and really, you know, soak up the information. So last but not least, man, I do have some sources down here below to check out my sources. I cite my sources. I'm not a genius. I'm not a genius. I do research. I study. So I want to cite my sources in here so you guys can check out my sources and, like, you know, dive in deeper if you guys want to dive in deeper. Very, very important. So last but not least, if you guys have watched this video, if you guys aren't working with me yet, you guys can book a call down below by clicking my link in the description, or just clicking the link on the document where you guys can book a quick roadmap call to get you guys down to 50% body fat if you guys need that help, extra push, extra accountability. You know, I'm pretty much here for all my clients every single day. I'm here for them. And if you need that help, want that accountability, want to save that time and save that money, I'll be here for you guys to pretty much help you guys along that way. All right? So if you guys enjoyed this video, definitely leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one.